وسهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي، أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر عبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
This is Dr. Sahar Khamis. Join me on the third Friday of each month at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be discussing some of the most important current political, economic, and social issues in my program, The Bridge. On Radio Baladi, on America's Voice of the Arab, WNZK 690 AM and WZMZ 700 AM. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is your host, Dr. Sahar Khamis. We are discussing today immigrant women in the U.S., stories of empowerment. As the wave of immigration to the U.S. constantly increases on an annual basis, new immigrants bring along with them new hopes, dreams, ambitions, and challenges. It is especially important to understand how immigrant women to the U.S. manage to navigate the difficulties they encounter and how they create new paths for themselves, change their realities, and struggle to build a better future for themselves and their families through resilience, hard work, and empowerment. In this regard, the New Americans Expo 2015, an informational fair and celebration welcoming the immigrant communities in the Washington, D.C. area and in Montgomery County, Maryland, is devoting a panel to discuss the success stories of immigrant women and how they can inspire and empower other women everywhere. With me this morning discussing this important and timely topic are two guests who have been involved themselves a lot with the empowerment of immigrant women and who themselves came to the U.S. as immigrant women initially. Ms. Christina Frey and Ms. Mimi Hassanein. Ms. Christina Frey is the event coordinator for the New Americans Expo 2015 informational fair and celebration for welcoming immigrant communities in the Washington, D.C. area and Montgomery County. She's a website developer and e-marketing consultant with a long history of community involvement. In her native country, Mexico, she founded the Mexican League for Women's Empowerment. Her theatrical production, Open Your Door, a play she wrote to raise awareness about domestic violence, has been performed by survivors of domestic violence throughout central Mexico. In 2008, she developed a micro-enterprise project for rural Mexican women, which was awarded top prize for business development by the cosmetics company Avon. In the U.S., she has been active in efforts to pass the DREAM Act in Colorado and Maryland, working with groups such as the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition and AIM Action in Montgomery County to improve the lives and opportunities of immigrant children. My second guest, Ms. Mimi Hassanein, is an Egyptian American who has been a resident of Montgomery County for over 40 years, during which she had a long experience in the area of civic engagement in a wide range of community and religious organizations and programs. This included Vice President of the Program Committee for the Women's Democratic National Club, working to help county government's partnership with the Collaboration Council to improve positive youth development around the county. Also, she was appointed to Montgomery County's Child Care Commission in 2008, serving on the board of Montgomery County Muslim Council, MCMC, and serving on the Middle Eastern Advisory Group for County Executive Ike Leggett, and as board member of Empower Women International, and also supporting the Women Over 50 Transition Network as co-chair of its Diversity Committee, and serving as an elected member of the Maryland Democratic State Central Committee. Her greatest pride has been the successful upbringing of 3 children and 15 grandchildren. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Good morning, Dr. Sahar. It's a pleasure to be on your show. This is Mimi Hassanein.
Thank you so much, Mimi and Christina. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here, Dr. Sahar Kamis, and wonderful people of Radio Baladi.
Thank you so much to both of you for accepting the invitation to be my guest this morning to discuss this important topic of immigrant women to the U.S. and their empowerment stories. Christina, you came to the U.S. as an immigrant from Mexico. How long ago was that?
I came to the U.S. like 8 years ago. I married an American man, and my husband and I lived in Colorado for 3 years, and then we moved to Maryland around 4 years ago.
Wonderful. And during that time, I see that you have also been involved in a lot of activities that have been involving immigrant women and immigrant children and helping these two categories of people to adjust and to really navigate their ways around the U.S. society. Can you talk a little bit about your own activities and involvement in this regard?
Yeah, my parents were teachers and professors at different schools, and so I learned to love kids. And I think kids are the future of a human race, no matter who they are, what kind of, where they come from or what their skin color, but they are all the future of our human race. And we need to support them and we need to respect them, especially the new generations who are so capable. They are so awake, multitasking, so they have so many skills, and I respect them enormously. And I'm always ready to support them, to give them a better chance, a better opportunity, and I think they deserve it. So I have been involved with different groups supporting the Dreamers to pass the DREAM Act in Colorado and the DREAM Act in Maryland, in Montgomery County. Mm-hmm. I have been involved with different churches and different groups like AIM in Montgomery County.
I was particularly interested in your involvement with the DREAM Act. Maybe not all our listeners may know enough about this particular DREAM Act. Can you just briefly give us some information about this DREAM Act and why it was founded in the first place?
Yeah, the DREAM Act is, children of immigrants or immigrant kids pay a higher fee in college. They don't pay the in-state tuition. They pay 3 times the cost of a college. So we were fighting for them to get a reduced fee to go to college so they can get a better education. And we passed that in Colorado, and here we passed it also in Montgomery County. So we're very happy that through efforts and organizations, we can achieve things in the U.S. This is a real democracy, and when people participate, people can get somewhere. If you have an objective and people support you and you have a strong argument, things can happen in this country. So that's what the DREAM Act is. And right now, the Dreamers are involved in another movement that is they want immigration reform. We have hundreds of broken families that want reunification, and we are asking Congress to fix the immigration problems that we have, to make them stay here legally and be together with their parents.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Ms. Nina Hassanein, you came to the U.S. more than 40 years ago. And during that time, you have been involved in many initiatives to help and empower women, especially immigrant women who came to the U.S. Can you talk a little bit about your involvement in some of these activities and what the aim or purpose of them is?
Yes. As an immigrant who comes from different country, language is always a barrier for us. We are very well educated in our country. Some of us are doctors, some of us are. But unfortunately, when we come here, the language barrier becomes an obstacle for us. And I do have a story to share with you about how did I get involved in what I have done. And sure. It started when my daughter went to back to school night, and then she came home and telling me that I have to go to school. A lot of us here, when we immigrate to this country, we come back here with the ideas that we bring from our country. So back home in Egypt, we are not really involved in the school system. So I remember when she came and telling me that I need to go to school and meet the teachers and the principal, I looked at her and I said, what did you do wrong? You've only been there 1 week. And she looked at me like I didn't do anything wrong, but we as immigrants, we come here with an idea of how our system back home, and we really don't try to get engaged or learn about our new country. So I got involved with the system here by baking my baklava. And I always say food is a universal language because a lot of us think that if we have the language barrier and we don't speak the language, then we stay home and we don't get involved. Well, you have something as women. We all know how to cook. So use this expertise and get involved. So I got involved with the PTA by baking my baklava, and then I learned the English, and then I chaired the Montgomery County Council of PTA, and I received a Lifetime Award. And then I wrote an article and their newsletter about PTA beyond baklava, because PTA was not all about baking sale or food. It's much more greater, bigger organization. So my experience was really great through that, and this was my way in getting into the system and learning about my country. So like I said, I always say food is a universal language.
Absolutely. It all started with the baklava story, right?
Yes, that's my part of my baklava story.
Right. And you actually pointed a very important point, which is the linguistic barrier, that some of the immigrant women maybe do not have the language tools, and maybe even they're not aware of the different culture that they are now part of. You are part of an initiative called Empower Women International. Can you briefly tell us a little bit more about what this initiative or effort is all about?
Well, the Empower International Women, it's an organization that they help the refugee women and women from different country and background. Once again, they come with the skills that they have, but the language barrier is an obstacle. So what they go through a session of 6 weeks, and they come and learn about how to start their own business. So trying actually to get their own skills ready and use it. So some of them are great cook, and then they become like a chef, and they have their own business as a catering business. Some of them are great on making jewelry, stuff that they really enjoy doing from back home. And some of them really excel, and then some of them really have their own business. And what the idea behind this program is how to be self-sufficient, and instead of relying on getting money from the county and support, county is paying for you for, food and stuff like that. They try to use their skills to really empower themselves and have their own business and be self-sufficient. It's a great program, and they work with all kind of people, low income, rich, refugee, just any immigrant who comes here and use their talent that they had before. And some of them, they decide to have business and excel on that, and some of them, they just learn the English and then just go on and move on with their own career that they like to pursue. It's a great organization, and I've been involved with them for so long.
Excellent. So this is also a very important point about the economic empowerment of women and giving them the tools to actually provide for themselves and for their families. As the saying goes, don't give me a fish, but teach me how to fish. We'll come back to this discussion right after this commercial break. Stay tuned, please.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Najee Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Najee Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design. New location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Najee Abood, 734-744-9796.
أسواق زمزم الواقع على 24065 أورشد ليك في مدينة فارمington هيلز ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. تنزيلات كبيرة على عموم المواد الغذائية في يوم الأربعاء من كل أسبوع. لا تنسوا فريش كاري اوت، جميع انواع المعجنات، وايضا صواني الكمبو المشكله والصمون الحار. لحوم حلال الجاليه العربيه والاسلاميه الملحمه باداره قصاب الجاليه المعروف سلوان جربوع. زوروهم على 24065 اورشد ليك في مدينه فارمington هيلز او اتصلوا بهم على 248-476-0300. اسواق زمزم للمذاق عنوان لجميع طلباتكم. اتصلوا على 248-476-0300. اسواق زمزم للمعامله الراقية وكرم الضيافة عنوان.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Dana, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
استوديو زرياب بإدارة حسن حامد في ستورمي هايتس يحييكم ويقدم لكم خدماته بالصوت والصورة. تسجيل، تصوير، مونتاج، فيديو كليب، إعلانات، كوميرشالز، دوكيومنتري، أفلام وثائقية للترويج لبضائعكم ومحلاتكم وشركاتكم. برامج تلفزيونية وإذاعية. استوديو زرياب وبتقنية عالية بإدارة حسن حامد 313-945-8860 313-945-8860 أو 248-761-5787. استوديو زرياب، الصوت والصورة اختصاصنا.
This is Dr. Sahar Khamis. Join me on the third Friday of each month at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be discussing some of the most important current political, economic, and social issues in my program, The Bridge. On Radio Baladi, on America's Voice of the Arab, WNZK 690 AM and WZMZ 700 AM. Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is your host, Dr. Sahar Khamis. We are discussing today an important and timely topic, which is immigrant women to the U.S., stories of empowerment. And with me this morning discussing this topic are two women who have been involved with immigrant women for a long time, Ms. Christina Frey and Ms. Mimi Hassanein. Right before going to the break, we were talking about some of the difficulties that immigrant women may face when they come to the U.S., such as the linguistic barrier, some economic challenges, and adjustment to the new culture that they're now part of. Ms. Christina, what other difficulties or obstacles do you think immigrant women who come to this country may encounter?
Working for the New Americans Expo, organizing the event for October 4 has been a wonderful experience for me because initially I wanted to do this for the Latino community because that's my network. Mm-hmm. But since I'm working with the county, the local government, the Office of Community Partnerships, they asked me to go visit all the leaders of our community. So I went to visit the African immigrant leaders, the Middle Eastern leaders, the Asian leaders, and of course the Latino leaders, mm-hmm. to ask for what were the issues their communities faced when coming to the U.S. And we all face similar situations, similar issues. We all left behind everything. We all left behind our culture, our language, our food, our friends, our property. And we come to this country and we have to learn a new culture, new language, eat new food, different food, make new friends. And sometimes it's hard to make friends because a lot of people don't trust people who's different or looks different. Mm-hmm. And we all have the same issues. We are missing our country. We're missing our people. We're missing our traditions. We are nostalgic of what we had before, and we're starting from zero. We need to find a job. We need to learn the language. We need to build a network. It's starting from zero. But for some people, it's an opportunity to rebuild themselves, to make things over again and try to do things better. And that's why the Expo is trying to offer them help on any kind of information, on housing, on financial information, on health insurance, any kind of service that the county provides to new immigrants. And the nonprofits also are going to be here at the Expo. We have around 50 agencies already registered. And it's like a little one-stop shop where people can come and see what's available for them. Because there is a lot of good people out there who wants to help immigrants adjust to the new culture, the new systems. You know, the U.S. is very sophisticated. People who come from what they are called third world countries or second world countries have different systems. And for us, coming to the U.S., where you get a fine if you don't have health insurance. You get a fine if you don't have a car insurance. You get a fine if you tie your dog on your backyard. For many of us, a dog in our countries is an animal, and you keep it outside the house. In this country, if you tie your dog in the backyard, people complain because they think it's animal cruelty. So they want you to keep your dog inside your house, and that's an issue for a lot of Latinos, for example, who keep their animals with their chicken and their other animals in their garden, in the yard.
Right.
So it is different. We need to learn the systems. We need to learn how this country works, not to get in trouble. And it's a process. It's a learning process.
The idea of the New Americans Expo 2015, as I understand it, is providing information and also providing resources for immigrants who come to this country in order to be able to navigate the system in a better way, correct? Wouldn't you say this is the purpose, the main purpose of the New Americans Expo, very briefly?
Yes, it's about helping people, no matter who they are and how long they have been in the country, maybe 30, 20 years, 15 years, or they just arrived to the country, to understand how it works, what are the systems, what are the rules, what is expected from them, like civic participation, civic engagement. Sometimes in our countries we don't go and vote, we don't go in and participate at school, in our kids' schools, because the government dictates everything for us. But in this country it's different. People is expected to speak out their minds, to participate, to say what they think. And that is a learning process for most of the immigrants who come from Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East.
Right.
We're not used to that. What Mimi was saying, you go to your kid's school and you are supposed to tell the teachers what you think about the education your kids are receiving. Back in Mexico, the government tells you everything, and the teachers are an authority. You don't tell them what to do. They tell you what to do. Right. So it's learning how to play how to understand the system, how to navigate all these new traditions, systems, and do it good. There are a lot of opportunities. That's the thing. That this country, it's a wonderful country, a great nation that offers a lot of opportunities. And if you don't know that they are out there, you're going to miss a lot.
Right. Thank you for this explanation of what the New Americans Expo 2015, which is going to be held in Montgomery County on October 4th, 2015, is all about. And Ms. Mimi, you are also involved with the New Americans Expo 2015. I know that you are also taking part in this expo. Can you talk a little bit about your own role and involvement in this important event?
Christina, when she came to our Office of Community Partnership, she was really eager to learn about how to get our office engaged with her new vision. And I really thank her so much for having this expo. It's an overdue because what she's doing, it's a great resource. She's educating all the people about what they need to learn, the resources available for them in the county. Because I always say, understand how the American system works and make it work for you, not against you. A lot of us come up from our countries with different ideas that it's set from back home, and we think the only thing we really care about is the freedom here. We all know you come to America and America is free. You have to, you're free. You can do anything. You talk about anything. That's not true. America, there is a lot of freedom, but there is a system attached to their freedom. So learning about how to use your freedom in a positive way, not in a negative way. A lot of us come and express our feeling, and we're mad, we're upset, and we get in trouble because it's free country. That's not what's all America about. America about giving you an opportunity to be who you are. It gives you choices. You choose how how to set your life. And then, it's a great opportunity for us to learn about the resources. There is so much resources available for us, for senior citizens, for youth, for women. There is so many programs for women. So when she came to our office and asked for our help, I was able to provide her with two panels, one of them is about discrimination, about racial profile, because I am a Muslim, and we always face racial profiling because some of us, the women wear the hijab. And when I talked to Christina, she said, well, this is our issue too. We don't wear the hijab, but a lot of Latino community, they are faced by racial issue. So I think when we talk about immigrant people, we all have the same issue. It really doesn't matter where you're from, Egypt or Middle East or a Latino community or African community. We all have the same problem. It just happened that for us, the Muslim community, because most of the women wear the hijab, which is the scarf, we are more targeted because the way we look. So I had organized this panel, and we're getting speakers to talk about your rights here as an immigrant. And also I organized the panel, which Dr. Sahar is involved in, and it's about the transition the TTN, that's the Transition Network, which an organization that I got involved with after I finished with my PTA and my kids were grown, and I was kind of, what's the next step for me? It's an organization for women who are over 50, and the goal and ideas about this is how to give back to your community, and it was more of a social organizations because they have different groups. They have book club group, they have movie group, they have the diversity group, which is a dear friend of mine, Isabel Schoenfeld. She started this idea, and I met Isabel at one of the program that I was involved in, which is called Senior Leadership. That's a different program that I got involved because now, when I came to the United States, I was young. Now I'm a senior citizen, and now I wanted to learn about how to prepare for my next life. Now you're senior and you can do what you used to do when you were young. So how can I adapt it to my new life now? And so I joined the Senior Leadership Program, and I learned about so many resources available for the senior citizen here. In our culture, we depend on our family to take us to the doctor. We're attached to the family, and now the kids don't really have the time to do all that stuff for us. So it's a tool. There's so many resources what I learned from the senior leadership program, that you can age in your place, and the concept of villages. And it's a wonderful community to be in, and it's a wonderful resource for the older people that you really don't have to depend on your family. You can age in your place. We all love our homes. We don't want to leave our homes, and it's a hard transition for us to move in and live with their kids and be their shadows and stuff like that. So I met Isabel there, and then she introduced me to the Transition Network Group, which is a wonderful organization, and I have been and we started the diversity committee with them, and we did program about the Muslim woman, we did a program about the Latino community, the African American. So many programs that we have done, and I always believe that education is your passport into integration. So you must carry your passport with you all the time and educate the people. Well, I want to say something about living here in the United States. People love to read. People are hungry for education. So use this to educate them about who we are and build a bridge between our community and their community. And I think that's the safest way to cross the bridge and be in one place and enjoy living in the United States.
I totally agree with you, and we'll come back to this right after this commercial break. Stay tuned, please.
Jumana K-Ruz. You've seen her images on giant billboards across the metro. Jumana K-Ruz. You've seen her images on buses across the city. Now get to know Jumana K-Ruz.
Most people who sit in my office across from my desk are hurting on so many levels. One thing people do not know about medical malpractice is that the statute of limitation, meaning the time that you have to bring suit against a doctor, a hospital, is 2 years. In medical malpractice, that's a very, very short period of time. Not every lawyer is an advocate, but every lawyer should be an advocate.
Let Jumana K-Ruz protect your rights. Call the law offices of Jumana K-Ruz at 1-866-YOUR-RIGHTS, extension 100, or visit yourrights.com.
أمتي ترافل للسياحة والسفر بإدارة نبيل الباشا تعلن عن افتتاح مكتبها الواقع على 28695 راين رود في مدينة وورن. خدمات متميزة وخبرة تفوق 20 عاما نضعها في خدمة عملائنا الكرام. مع أمتي ترافل يمكنكم حجز رحلاتكم الجوية داخل أمريكا، الوطن العربي وأنحاء العالم، إضافة إلى الأماكن السياحية والاستجمام. للحصول على أفضل العروض وأنسب الأسعار ولمزيد من المعلومات اتصلوا على الرقم 586-578-9126 586-578-9126. أمتي ترافل، عنوان للصداقة والثقة.
Life for Relief and Development is a non-profit charity that has been providing humanitarian aid and development to people and communities regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background for over 22 years. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life rushes to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Life also has development projects that provide medical relief, water purification, educational programs, relief for orphans, and much more. Your help and support can greatly improve these efforts. All donations are tax deductible. For more information, please visit our website at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. That's lifeusa.org, 248-424-7493.
This is Dr. Sahar Khamis. Join me on the third Friday of each month at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be discussing some of the most important current political, economic, and social issues in my program, The Bridge. On Radio Baladi, on America's Voice of the Arabs, WNDK 690 AM, and and WZMZ 700 AM. Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is your host, Dr. Sahar Khamis. We are discussing today immigrant women to the U.S., stories of empowerment. And with me this morning discussing this topic are two women who have been involved themselves a lot with helping immigrant women and providing them with resources, Ms. Christina Frey and Ms. Mimi Hassanein. Right before going to the commercial break, we were talking about the panels and the activities included in the New Americans Expo 2015 event, which is meant to help immigrant communities coming to the U.S. Ms. Christina, there is a particular panel that's going to be part of this expo that deals with successful stories of immigrant women and how that can empower other women by setting an example. Can you talk a little bit about this particular panel? What was the criteria for the selection of the participants in this panel, and really what it is trying to achieve here?
This panel, we have 18 panels at the New Americans Expo. We want to offer a forum for the community to talk about their issues, to let everybody know what is happening, what's going on, and we're going to have the media listening to this conversation between specialists and the community. And after the panel is done, we're going to make a report to the executive of our county and the council members, because we want to make a follow-up of every single panel. And the one you are talking about, Empowered Women, is one of the most important panels that we have, because women are very important part of our community. They are the ones who take care of the children, take care of their homes and their husbands, and they work, they multitask, and they make a lot of the decisions at home. So we need to pay attention of what is happening to the immigrant women. This panel is being organized by the Transition Network and Empowered Women International. It's a nonprofit who works with women. They are bringing in the panel 4 speakers. One of them is you, Sahar Khamis. The second one is Joy Mahabak, is founder and owner of Public Health Ventures in Washington, D.C. Carla Silvestre, Director of Community Engagement of the Office of Advancement and Community Engagement in Montgomery College. Lily Q is Director of Special Projects in the Office of the County Executive in Montgomery County. Mm-hmm. They're going to talk about, they all are immigrants, and they will talk about their experience living in the U.S., the challenges they faced to get where they are, because they all have important roles in our community. And basically, we're going to chat with them and learn from them. What is it that they did? How they solve the problems? How they overcome the obstacles and the challenges? Because we all want to be like them. We all want to be successful in this country where we find a lot of opportunities, and we all come to make our dreams come true.
Yeah, wonderful. I really appreciate the fact that you're going to organize this very important panel, and of course I really am honored and pleased to take part in it. I think it's very important for other women to hear stories of immigrant women who came here and the difficulties, the obstacles they have navigated, and how they got to where they are right now. And we hope this is going to be a very successful panel and also a very successful expo event for welcoming and integrating new immigrants to the U.S. and providing them with the resources, information, and inspiration and encouragement that they also need. Ms. Christina, one thing that really attracted my attention when I was looking at your bio was the fact that you used art, in this particular case, theatrical art. You know, you had this play, to help the victims of domestic abuse and domestic violence, which was called Open Your Door. I really want you to just shed light briefly on how we can use things like art and other forms of expression to help, immigrant women and women in general.
In the case of the play that I wrote women suffering domestic violence. It was pretty interesting because we made them perform the play in front of an audience. And usually in our countries, domestic violence should be kept in secret. Nobody should talk about that. You should be embarrassed about it. But in our case, we broke that idea, and we exposed all these women to this public, and they got applause. Everyone was happy to know their stories, and everybody was feeling compelled about the stories, and a lot of women came out saying, well, that's my story too. They felt identified with these women performing the play. So it was wonderful for them because they released their energy, they released their suffering, and they were in front of all these public that were applauding to them, that were congratulating them. So it transformed their lives. It transformed their the way of seeing themselves. Now they could speak it out. They could tell everybody about their lives, and it wasn't wrong. It was helping other women to come out and talk about their problems and solve them. So it was encouraging others to speak out something that they thought it was supposed to be kept in secret. So it's the same thing that now in our county they are doing with the children who are traveling, running away from violence. They are performing plays about their stories and showing everybody what they went through. And in that way, they are healing themselves. They are empowering themselves and changing that experience into something positive. So art is something that helps people to transform their lives and in a positive way. So that's
absolutely
my experience with art and when you apply it to solve a problem.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of research that shows that art, as you said, can be an empowerment tool for women who are, for example, marginalized or in a certain, position where they're victims of certain things like domestic violence and so on, because it gives them the tool to empower themselves and to also express themselves to others. Ms. Mimi, you talked earlier about racial profiling, and you are an Arab and Muslim woman, and I want you to talk a little bit, like in 2 minutes, about this whole thing about racial profiling and what efforts you have been involved in to try to overcome it when it comes especially to groups like, Arab American or Muslim women in the U.S.
Well, racial profiling, in particular, when it comes to Muslim women, it's because we wear the hijab, so that's really a lot of people. As soon as they say you're wearing the hijab, automatically they think you're terrorist, and they get the wrong idea. I myself have not really faced a racial profile situation, but I work with the International Culture Center, which is really Dr. Hadia. Is the director for this organization, and they are a wonderful group. They work with all the people who are coming from refugee countries, and they focus on really people who are being discriminated, whether because of religion or race. And so she really is the one she organized all the panel, and they are all experts to talk about what you need to do when you are faced with a situation like this. What's your right? A lot of us gets upset, and a lot of us don't know what to do. So there will be an expert people on the panel to talk about what we need to do, what's your right, and what you need to do if you are faced like that. A lot of cases I heard that women are being discriminated, and there was just a recent one that she was working in a restaurant, and her boss knows that she can't serve alcohol, and because she's Muslim, so she was forced to serve the liquor to the customer because she was a waitress. And as you know, we don't drink alcohol and we don't serve alcohol. So stuff like that should have been clear to the employee before they get the job, and now she's facing with it. There's so many cases that it's facing women nowadays as far as their workplace. So I'm hoping what I come out from educating the people about that, about their rights, is that they would they will handle their situation with an educated way, not just coming from ignorance, and then they get in trouble, and then the case gets bigger. I also wanted to mention, when Christine mentioned the Office of Community Partnership, this is a great organization. And a lot of my colleagues who are there, the African liaison, the African American, the Latino, the Asian, and we also have the liaison for the interfaith group, Reverend Casey. He's done tremendous work when it comes to the communities with their interfaith, and his goal was to bring the different faiths together and work together and learn from one another, and look at our similarity, focus on the similarity between us versus the differences, and embrace both, whether it's different about you or similar about you. And he's really been working so hard about getting to know one another and working with the county council and county executive. I also want to thank our county executive, Ike Leggett, because he made it so easy for all the diverse community to have a seat on the table. When he started getting the Office of Community Partnership, getting the Office of Community Partnership larger, it used to be only 3 communities, the Latino, the Asian, and the African American. And he said the county had to reflect their own people. So he had the
Middle Eastern
liaison, the staff, the interfaith liaison. He added the
group
African Caribbean, and he also added the Middle Eastern. So everybody has a seat at his big table. So we thank our county executive for working with us and making Montgomery County a safe place to live in.
Absolutely. We'll come back to this particular point right after this commercial break. Stay tuned, please.
قشات ميديترينيان ماركت بإدارة سهر قشات وأولاده يرحبون بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. جميع أنواع المواد الغذائية، البان طازجة، الكرزات والبهارات الطازجة. داخل الأسواق مطعم ميديترينيان شيش كباب يقدم يوميا جميع أنواع الكباب، المقبلات العربية العراقية وصواني الكامبو المميزة. تفتح الأسواق من 8 إلى 9 مساء من الاثنين وحتى السبت، ومن 8 صباحا إلى 9 مساء يوم الأحد. تقع الأسواق على 32839 نورث ويسترن هايواي في مدينة فارمينغتون هيلز. لحوم حلال للجالية الإسلامية. لطلباتكم من المطعم كول 248-538-7855. That is 248-538-7855. قشة ميديترينيان ماركت، خدمة متميزة ومعاملة راقية.
From their first words to first grade, Dreamy Children's Center will help get your child on the right track. The highly qualified staff works closely with parents to provide an experience that goes beyond early education. We can help nurture important personality traits with the use of educational programs ranging from preschooling for infants to Montessori-approved programs and bilingual curriculums for young children. All meals can be provided, and we can arrange for after-school pickup. Dreamy Children's Center in Dearborn Heights on Warren, in Westland on Ann Arbor Trail, and in Troy on DeQuinder.
وينتري مانر. صالات جميلة لمناسباتكم السعيدة. ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. أجمل القاعات لمناسباتكم السعيدة من حفلات ومؤتمرات. تتسع القاعات لأكثر من 1000 شخص. خدمة راقية، أسعار مناسبة. تذوقوا ألذ الأطعمة الشرقية والغربية وبأسعار خاصة ومناسبة لجميع المناسبات. تقع القاعة على 35100 فان بون رود في مدينة وين. للحجز اتصلوا بهم على 734-728-3020 734-728-3020. وينتري مانر للضيافة عنوان.
My favorite TV channel has been removed. I was ripped off.
Don't be fooled by unauthorized TV services. You could not only lose your favorite TV channels, but also lose your money. Keep your eyes out and avoid offers that just seem too good to be true. There are numerous companies and TV services that are selling a set-top box or providing a website who claims to have rights to distribute NBC, Al Jazeera, Art, and many other Arabic TV channels.
Then who is legally authorized to provide my favorite TV channels in the U.S.?
Dish Network and Sling International provide your favorite TV channels and programs. For more information, go to www.dishnetwork.com/Arabic or www.sling.com/Arabic and sign up today and watch your favorite TV programs and save money.
This is Dr. Sahar Khamis. Join me on the third Friday of each month at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be discussing some of the most important current political, economic, and social issues in my program, The Bridge. On Radio Baladi, on America's Voice of the Arabs, WNZK 690 AM and WZMZ 700 AM. Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is your host, Dr. Sahar Khamis. We are discussing today immigrant women to the U.S., stories of empowerment. And with me today are Ms. Mimi Hassanein and Ms. Christina Frey discussing this topic. Right before going to the commercial break, Ms. Mimi, you were talking about the Office of Community Partnerships. And you said that there is now a Middle Eastern advisory group that has been formed within this office. I would like to know, particularly from you, but briefly, in like 2 minutes, please, how this office particularly functions and what is the purpose of this Middle Eastern advisory group and how can you help this particular community?
The Middle Eastern group is a wonderful group. We consist of about 10 people, and we are from different countries. And our vision and mission is to help the county executive and inform him about advise him on any issues that related to our community. So we try to build the bridge between our community and the county executive and the county council, and also try to offer the resources to our community. A lot of us are not aware about the resources, as I had mentioned before, the senior citizen program. A lot of us now are aging in place. I myself was the first generation who came here, and now I have children and I'm getting old and I need to learn about the senior citizen program. Also, we help the community to get to know the other communities. So we collaborate between our Middle Eastern community, the African American community, and then other community. We try to build the bridges between all over the communities existing. And we have last year was the first year when we had the Middle Eastern Heritage Month, which the county executive dedicated the month of March is for the Middle Eastern Heritage Month, and we had a huge event at the county executive building, and we talked about our cultures and our religion, and we had shows and food, and we had speakers to talk about the countries in the Middle East, and in particular the Muslim community, and how to really don't get confused, don't mix up the radical people and the terrorists with the Muslim community who are here. As you know, we come from a peaceful religion, and a lot of the misunderstanding and misinterpretation about what's going on with the extremist people, and then we get to be blamed. So we try to educate the people about who we are, who are the Middle East country, and what are we doing, and talk about the resources that we have and work with them. So it's a great group, and I encourage anybody to join us. I will, I don't know if I I will send you information so you can share it with people later on. But it's been a pleasure and honor working with the Middle Eastern Advisory Group. So
thank you so much. That's wonderful that you're doing all of these activities for the Middle Eastern group and for the Middle Eastern community and Muslim and Arab community in the U.S. It's much needed effort, especially nowadays, as you said, with the media misrepresentations or stereotyping that needs to be changed and adjusted. And my final question is for Ms. Christina. You know, it is no secret that some of the, especially right-wing or rightist groups, they have been talking about things like, for example, the negative impact of immigration or having immigrants come to this country. What could be done in order to clarify or to adjust or rectify some of these negative images about quote-unquote immigrants in general and immigrant communities, and actually to indicate or to show that indeed immigrants to this country are a resource and a value rather than a threat? We just have very few minutes left, so if you can please give us a brief answer, that would be great, please.
Yeah, well, the New American Expo is now part of a national movement called Welcoming America, and the whole objective is to showcase the positive impact that immigrants bring to the country economically, culturally, in many ways, all the good things immigrants bring to the U.S. So it's basically that. Tell everybody the numbers, how hard these people are working, all the new energy, the new ideas, the new energy that they bring into the country, and it's going to show by itself that it's a positive impact. It's adding, it's not resting to the country. And that's what we're doing at the Expo. We're going to have an exposition of different pictures of different immigrants from different centuries, so that we all remember that this country is made up of immigrants and their children and their grandchildren, and that we should be grateful to the land for giving us the opportunity to have hope and an opportunity to dream of becoming better, being better, and giving a better life to our families. So something that I want to say about the Expo is that it's a free Expo. Everybody is welcome to join us. There is no charge, and we're going to have music. We're going to have snacks. We're going to have gifts. I'm looking for sponsors for each one of the panels. For example, for the Montgomery College has a panel on programs for new Americans, and we have already a gift from a travel agency for an air ticket for $500. So
wonderful.
Whoever
so
sits at that panel
has entertainment and has information,
they can go for free to South America or Central America or anywhere they want with a $500 air ticket.
Thank you so much. I'm afraid we're running out of time. We just have 1 minute left. I would like to thank you all so much for being with me this morning. It has been a great show. Thank you, Ms. Christina Frey and Ms. Mimi Hassanein, for being my guests this morning. And thanks to all our listeners today on Radio Baladi. This is your host, Dr. Sahar Khamis. Thank you so much, and goodbye.